our diamond stocks are very low. So's our emeralds and our netherite. So today, we're going to fix that. And if you're excited for today's All the Mods 10 episode, make sure to smash that subscribe button, as well as the like. And if you remember from last episode, we made this cave-like structure where we were going to start mystical agriculture. And the cobblestone was indicating the 2 altars. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing a little bit of farming. Now, to get the items we need for the altar, very simple. It's just some stone, gold, and red wool. And I've been keeping the poppies from our iron golem farms, and we can use the string from our mob farm to make the red wool. I'll simply just have to go and collect some gold from the mine and smelt some stone. Now that we have the altar, and when we place the centerpiece of the altar down, when we destroy the cobblestone, it'll actually show you where you should put each of the pedestals. With all the altar placed and down, it's time to move on to the most important item in mystical agriculture, and that is the Master Infusion Crystal. Why? This is because the Master Infusion Crystal has unlimited uses, whereas the basic Infusion Crystal has 500 uses. And the way we get the Master Infusion Crystal is by turning Inferium to Prudentium to Tertium to Imperium and all the way up to Supremium, which is where we're going to need a Supremium gem and 4 Supremium for the Master Infusion Stone. So I've been out already and collected a lot of Inferium to convert into Supremium. However, it's not enough. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go mining. And after mining for about 10 to 15 minutes, we had all the Inferium and Supremium that we needed to make this Master Infusion Crystal. However, we still can't leave these mines because we still need the Inferium to make the seeds. Now, the seeds come in different variations. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4, and Tier 5. Each one of those corresponds to Inferium is Tier 1, Prudentium is Tier 2, Tertium is Tier 3, Imperium is Tier 4, and Supremium being Tier 5. And the seeds that I want to make the most are Diamond, Netherite, Emerald, and Gold. Now, the gold one's not so bad because that one is Imperium. So that's Tier 4. The rest of them are Tier 5, which means we need a whole lot more Supremium. And after what felt like forever, we had finally got all the essence that we needed to make 2 of each of those seeds. Now, when making these seeds, normally you could put just like a lever or some sort of redstone signal next to the altar, or you can also make a wand, which will also activate the altar as well. And when putting in the seeds, you put the prosperity seed base in the middle, so on the altar, and 4 of the chosen item you want, so in this case, maybe some gold or diamond, netherite, or emerald, and then 4 of the essence. Doesn't matter what order you put them in, just as long as there's 4 of each in there. Give it a redstone signal or a little tap with your wand, and it will give you the seed. Now that we have the seeds, I'm also going to plant some Inferium seeds, because you don't actually have to go mining to get Inferium. You can grow it as well. And what I thought I was best doing was putting it on some Supremium farmland, because it doesn't just output 1, it outputs 3. Unfortunately, you cannot do this with the diamond seed, gold seed, netherite seed, emerald seed. You can only do this with Inferium. That's the downside to it. But I have a little trick up my sleeve to make those seeds grow a little bit quicker. So we best go and start planting them. So with the Inferium seeds growing, one of my little tricks is to use a thing called red fertilizer. Now, what does this do? It just speeds up the growth, and you can put this on normal farmland, and it does work with mystical agriculture crops. However, you can't put this on Supremium or any of the Essenced farmland. And then the other trick we can use is lily pads of fertility. But to get those, we're going to have to go into a mod called Nature's Aura. So we'll be doing that a little bit later on. With those seeds growing, we're going to need a way of automatically harvesting the crops and putting them into a chest of some sort. And the way I'm going to do this is with a pylon. And we can actually waterlog this pylon so it doesn't have to protrude as much. And the way this works is you can select the area that you want it to farm, make sure it has a load of hose in it. So in this case, we're going to use diamond hose. However, when we get to allthemodium, we'll never have to replace that hoe because it is unbreakable. And put a chest above it so it can output the items in a chest. Now, I'm going to put a diamond chest down with a couple of stack upgrades just so it doesn't fill up overnight. Now, it's time for the lily pads of fertility. So we've put an ugly cobblestone ring round and filled it with water for the lily pads to sit on top of. And the first thing we're going to need is this brilliant fiber, which is just gold nuggets, leaves, and a bit of grass. And this stuff works a little bit like the silkworms in any of these skyblock mods. If you played like Sky Factory, it works like silkworms, where you sort of infest one leaf block and it sort of spreads, and once it's fully done, it'll drop these golden leaves. And once you have enough of the golden leaves, you can then start to do a ritual called the Ritual of the Forest. Now we're going to start setting this up, and it's pretty simple. All you need is the golden leaves and a couple of logs in a crafting table, and you'll get these sort of stripped log stumps. You need to arrange them in a circle pattern around a center point, which is where you'll be placing a sapling to grow into a tree. But to activate any ritual in there, you'll need the gold dust arranged in a pattern, and then bone meal a sapling, and then it'll activate with whatever ritual you are trying to complete. And the first thing we're going to try to achieve from doing this ritual is the token of joy. So we're going to need to get a very specific item in the bottled sunlight. Now, to get this, all you need to do is combine a glass bottle and a plank in a 2x2 crafting table, and you'll get a bottle and cork, and simply just collect some air. And there you have it. You have your bottled sunlight. We're going to also need an apple, iron, a gold leaf, a torch, and any random flower. And once we've achieved these items, we can then place our sapling down, surround it in this gold dust, grow the tree, and watch the ritual do its thing. And just like that, we have the token of joy. Now we're going to use that token to set up and make the next altar, called the natural altar. And within a couple of minutes, we have all the things we're going to need to make the altar. So we lay it out on our stumps and activate the ritual. And now we need to set up this altar. And to get the layout of this structure, I'm going to use the Book of Natural Aura. And by simply going onto the natural altar page, click the little eyeball that will show you how to build it. So now that the altar is made, we now need to make the offering table, which is the final step of Nature's Aura to get in the lily pad of fertility. However, two things get in the way here, and it's the token of fear and the token of sorrow. And the token of fear takes bottled ghosts. How do you get this bottled ghost? Well, you get your bottle and your cork, and you simply go to the nether, and once you're in the nether, collect some nether air, and there you go, you have your bottled ghosts. And the token of sorrow is fairly simple because we need bottled sunlight. We know how to get that. So once we have acquired our two tokens, we can finally make our last ritual setup in the offering table. And again, I used the Book of Natural Aura to show me how this works. Now, you don't have to use roses. It's just I had a lot of them because of my iron farms. And we're going to use this offering table to get the ingot of the skies. And if we use some tainted gold, we get a better yield, which is pretty simple. All you got to do is put some gold in the altar we made before. And we also need another item called the Spirit of Calling. And once we have both of those items, if we go over to the offering table, put the tainted gold inside the offering table and just throw the Spirit of Calling on top, lightning comes down, strikes the bowl, and then a couple of seconds later, 2 ingots of the sky rain upon us. And for our final ritual of the episode, if we take them 2 ingots of the sky, combine them with 2 gold dust and a wheat, throw those things on our wooden stubs, plant a sapling with gold around it, grow the sapling, we get the powder of steady growth. And that is exactly what we need for the lily pads of fertility. Now, I have the lily pads already, so there's just one more item that we need to craft, and they're all mob drops. So let's head over to our mob farm. And once we grabbed all the necessary items for the fertile essence, which is green dye, slime pearl, catalyzing gland, and a rib bone, we could finally make our first couple of lily pads of fertility. So I won't bore you and do it all on camera. I'll do the rest of this off camera. But thank you all for watching today's episode. Please do let me know down in the comments below what is the most efficient way of farming this stuff. But if you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to smash that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe, and I will see you all again in the next one. Bye.